Hello, everyone. This is Glen, Guyton, your cultural navigator, coming to you live on a Wednesday. I hope you are doing well on this hump day, and I hope you're looking forward to the weekend. Summer is almost here, but because summer is here, that doesn't mean that we don't have work to do. And so today I want to talk a little bit about diversity and inclusion in the workplace. Of course, why else are you here? That's what you're here to learn about. And today, I was actually reading an article from the American Sociological Review talking about what are the most effective diversity and inclusion programs in corporate America or in organizations. And basically, they kind of divided these approaches up into 7 different practices that organizations usually try when they want to bolster diversity and inclusion. And these 7 strategies fall into 3 broad categories. And let me go through these 3 broad categories. And so if you are a human resource professional or if you are a diversity and inclusion trainer, write these down. These are the 3 broad categories of how we would classify the techniques people use in order to increase diversity and inclusion in the workplace. Well, the first thing that we want to say is people try to do organizational changes, and so they want to try a new structure in an attempt to increase diversity and inclusion. The second thing people do is they want to try to institute behavioral changes in the organization, and so that usually means better education. They want people to be more informed about what's going on. And then the third way people try to work at diversity and inclusion in the workplace is through social change. In other words, they want to create a better work environment as they attack the issues of diversity and inclusion. And so now, one of the things that I tell people is, what aspect of diversity and inclusion are you working on? Because as you think about these different approaches, you really appeal to different groups. And so if you want to increase the number of African-American women or Latino women in your organization, that's a much different technique that you would use to try to increase the number of African-American males or white women or Latino males. Each group that you are trying to work with may have different needs. And so if you are trying to look at diversity and inclusion in regards to ability identity or sexual orientation, gender, age, there are different techniques that you need to use. Diversity and inclusion isn't one size fit all, because if it was, it would be diversity and inclusion. It would just be monoculturalism. And so think about that as you lay out your plans. If you are a human resource professional or if you are a trainer getting ready to go in an organization, please don't give them this one size fits all type of approach to the training that you are recommending. Even your training techniques need to be a little bit different. And the recommendations that you have for any organization needs to fit the type of diversity that they are looking at and the group that they are targeting. And so I gave you those 3 broad categories, which are again organizational change, which means you are bringing new structures into the mix or new ways of supervising people. Behavioral changes, which you are trying to educate people. So you bring in a diversity and inclusion trainer, you make them watch those boring videos, those boring videos and nobody remember what's going on. And then they check the box. Okay, we're diverse now. Yay, we have it. We got it. We understand, everybody. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. And then we go to the social changes, which are, again, you're changing the environment. So you try to have maybe some social activities. You have mentoring, the things like that to create a better environment for the group that you are targeting. So what works best? What works best? Well, again, it depends on the group that you are trying to reach. Diversity inclusion programs have to be intentional. You have to understand the demographic that you are going after, that you are lacking in that diversity. What pool do you want to increase? That will determine your technique. But there are some different things that different ways that you can work at that, and it's I have a list of 7 here that I've read in this article, this study, and it actually categorizes which technique is better for which group. And I'm just going to give you one example. I'm not going to give you everything now. I can't tell you everything in this short video. I'm just going to give you one example. We talked about the social change that people work at, the companies work at to help them with diversity and inclusion. And again, that's changing the environment. So one of those techniques under that category would be mentoring program. So in a mentoring program, you say, hey, let's bring in more women of color. Let's bring in more men to help mentor and guide our employees as they go through our system. And so you provide a mentor to help people feel more included in the process, to help them learn the corporate culture. So which group do you think responds best to that type of technique? Anyone guess which group responds best to that? Well, it seems like, according to this one study, that Black women, more than any other group, are receptive to mentors. Why is that? It could be any number of reasons. I'm not a psychologist, a sociologist, but I do understand, that when you're isolated, you have a smaller peer group. That peer group can be important. The group that's probably least likely to respond to that would be white men. Why? Because white men already have plenty of mentors. I mean, it's just as simple as that. Everywhere you go in corporate America, there is a large group of white men that are available for you to talk to, for you to look up to. But African-American women don't have those same role models. And so because already women in the workplace, or especially in corporate America, are already a minority, just think about African-American women. They have even less role models, goal models to look forward to. So mentorship is very important. Hey, Janet, my friend Janet is tuning into this episode. But so mentorship for women is much more valuable in increasing diversity and inclusion than it would be if you are seeking out African-American men, if you want to increase your diversity in that area. Now, I can't speak to that. Why? I can tell you why me as an African-American male, maybe why that's not as important. This is just from my personal experience. In order to be successful in corporate America, many African-American men have simply just assimilated. We've learned how to adapt to the dominant or white culture. And so the mentorship, we've worked at that, at least me personally, we've worked at that in a number of ways, and we have other avenues in order to connect. And so it may not be as important for us. There are some other things that we are more receptive to if you look at the story. But I'm not going to tell you all of the results. You'll have to do some research on your own, or you're going to have to call me to get some more of those details. But the main point today is that we have to understand the needs of the group that we are targeting. And so whatever group we want to increase that level of diversity and inclusion in our workplace, make sure we're using a proper technique to attract that group of people. I hope you have a great day. Diversity and inclusion is important in our workplaces. It increases productivity, profitability, and creativity. If you are not working at diversity and inclusion, you are missing out. I hope you have a good day. This is Glen Guyton, your cultural navigator. Bye-bye.